Well, this is an experiment. This is the Daily Freedomist Show, which may or may not be a Daily Freedomist Show. It may happen or it may not happen. We'll see. This is a little experiment we're going to be running today and see how things go. So on this show, we're going to be talking about the dead protesters' organs sold by Myanmar, Nike paid zero federal income taxes, AI language builder creating billions of words a day, Kamala Harris, a no-show, Easter eggs and mounting death colors ongoing. Actually, first three we're not going to get to. That's different. That's a different show. I teased you there. I teased you. See, this is a work in progress. My name is Paul Gordon Garvey, by the way, and you're watching the Daily Freedomist Show, in which we're going to touch on basically the top 6 topics that we chose to focus on our Newswatch page. I'll take you to the Newswatch page here. This is where you want to go daily. Freedomist.com/Newswatch. I don't have this queued in so you can see it, but you get a general idea there. You go there, and these are aggregate links from around the world and aggregated and edited and whatnot for your viewing pleasure, so you can get a sense of what's going on in the world without having to go through all the poop. We filter out the poop so that you could see the good. And we're going to get started with our first story here. Florida Wastewater Reserve on verge of catastrophic collapse. This is our first topic report. We'll call this our lead-in story here. And we have stories here from breakingnews.ie, npr.org, NBD TV, and I believe, let's see what this one's from. This is express.uk that we're looking at. So we're going to just look at, this is how people are covering this news right now. The news story is that there is a Florida wastewater reserve that appears ready on, this is not the actual wastewater reserve, this is just a stock photo of a wastewater reserve somewhere, not in Florida. The situation looks like we have, essentially, there is wastewater in a reserve that is about, and then this is, the way I understand it, is it nuclear, something like that? It's a wastewater pond, and it looks like it's about to burst, and if it bursts, it's going to basically inundate a community. So we have here, the U.S. emergency crews seek to prevent catastrophic flood at wastewater reservoir. This is from Breaking News. Emergency workers in Florida are trying to prevent the collapse of a large wastewater pond while evacuating the area to avoid a catastrophic flood. And then we have some Florida residents hesitant to leave amid evacuations. This is from USA Today. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Sunday that crews are working to prevent the collapse of a large wastewater pond to avoid a catastrophic flood. And let's just look a little bit deeper here real quick here. And it looks like some Florida residents hesitant to leave amid... Well, that was really helpful. That was very helpful. So, state of emergency evacuations in Florida County over wastewater pond leak from NPR. Manatee County is where we're at in Florida, which is under a state of emergency over the weekend, and more than 300 homes were ordered evacuated over a leak at a wastewater reservoir. A significant leak was discovered Friday at the wastewater pond located at Piney Point, a former phosphate plant. Florida works to avoid catastrophic pond collapse from CNBC. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Sunday that crews are working to prevent the collapse of a large wastewater pond in Tampa Bay. Wastewater leak from reserve risks catastrophic floods in Florida. Florida reserve collapse. 20-foot wall of water could submerge region in minutes. A state of, and this is from, where are you from? I don't like when you show me that. So this is Reuters. All right. Oh, no, this is Express UK. Sorry. Express UK had that story, and it says state of emergency has been declared in the country of Manatee, Hillsborough, and Pinellas following a major leak at a wastewater facility. So I thought I saw something about nuclear, but I guess not. I guess it's just not nuclear waste. That's good. Well, if it's not nuclear waste, everything's fine. It's just poop. Florida governor, maybe not poop, I don't know. Florida governor going to Manatee County amid Piney Point leak, emergency declared. That is from Sputnik News. And then imminent reservoir wall collapse threatens polluted flood at Tampa Bay. And we'll look at Google News here. And let's just hear, yeah. There we go. Let's just get a little bit of The latest here, Florida wastewater leak. Okay, so it's nothing new here. So there you go with that story. Congratulations. Let's get to our next story. This is how it's going to roll, folks. This boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. We don't even have time for this. And this story is really, really fascinating here that we're going to get to this next story. Dead protesters' organs sold by Myanmar, says opposition leader. That seems credible. I don't know. I mean, actually, maybe, really, people that view other people as subhuman, they're almost capable of doing anything with other people. I think we've learned that lesson throughout the ages. So this is our lead-in. This is from this is on Reddit.com, so it's credible. Myanmar's military selling organs of killed protesters, alleges Suu Kyi party leader. Now, I don't know whether this is true or not. I don't know, but it's newsworthy in that this is what the opposition party leaders are doing. This is the kind of accusations they're making. That tells you something in and of itself. It doesn't mean that this is true. And so they're sending a link here from Manorama. Myanmar's military selling organs of killed protesters, alleges Suu Kyi's party leader. Myanmar's military junta is actively engaging in selling organs of protesters shot down by the soldiers, a senior leader of Aung San Suu Kyi's party has alleged. National League for Democracy leader Dr. Win Yang said that the military was deliberately shooting protesters in the head to keep vital organs intact. Wow. Most of the victims were able-bodied youngsters. Their bodies were later cut open and organs sold to international organ trafficking gangs, he said in a webinar organized by Press Institute of India. I tell you, if this turned out to be true, it would be hideous. I mean, you can't say it's true just off of this one report. But again, what makes this newsworthy is the fact that this is what the protesters are reporting. And here's some other things that's being said about Myanmar right now. I'm not sure what that's going in there. We got some stuff in here mixed up. So anyway, essentially, what's going on? Let's do a Google search and let's see what Google has to say about Myanmar. How do you say it? Myanmar. What does Google say about the latest going on in Myanmar? Myanmar protesters clap to denounce junta as region focuses on crisis. China's laissez-faire approach towards Myanmar's coup puts its own interest at risk. The Myanmar beauty queen standing up to the military. After coup, Myanmar's military rule is an exception. U.S. and UK joined Canada and designated Myanmar's conglomerates, with EU considering further action. That's from Gibson Dunn. The last one after coup, that's New York Times. The Myanmar beauty queen standing up to the military. That's big news. BBC News. They're losing the culture war. The Myanmar military is losing the culture war. China's laissez-faire approach towards Myanmar as coup puts its own interest at risk, says analysts from CNBC. So there you have. That's the latest for Myanmar. And just like that, we're going to get to the next story. I'm going to put you over here. And this is our next story. Is Jordan headed towards a civil war? That's possible. This is possible. So we have here, Jordan arrests high-profile figures, including a royal, for security reasons. And this is from Economic Times, India Times. The Jordanian government has arrested high-profile figures in the kingdom, including a member of the royal family and a former chief of the royal court, with officials citing the security and stability of Jordan as intrigue consumed the country Saturday. Utmost danger. Jordan cracks down on threat to stability. From Al Jazeera, a Jordanian royal family member has lashed out at the ruling elite in rare criticism after several former high-level officials were arrested in what the military says was a threat against national security. That's what you always use. Threat against national security. Extremists, terrorists. Some people actually are what you would call, maybe, I don't know if there's an objective extremist or terrorist terminology, but some are more solidly in that camp than others. But for the most part, governments just use those phrases against anybody that opposes them. Case in point, the American government today and the American government before the American government today. So it's what they always do. Jordanians fear further crackdowns after high-level arrests by Shira Rebin and Sarah Dakout From Washington Post, what was whispered in closed circles is now out in the open, says Daoud Kutab, the director of the Amman-based community media network, who said that low-level protests in Amman have been met with outsized punitive measures in recent months. The official media is totally silent. Uh-oh. Then they're losing the culture war. Jordanian FM confirms accusations against ex-crown Prince Hamza, alleges confirms accusation. I love that. Foreign minister. The Jordanian foreign minister, member of the Jordanian government, has confirmed accusations against ex-crown Prince Hamza. Prince Hamza bin Hussein of Jordan has been officially accused of plotting to undermine the country's security and stability. Jordan's ex-crown prince says he's under house arrest. From Channel News Asia, Jordan's former crown prince said on Saturday he is under house arrest but denied being part of any conspiracy against his half-brother, King Abdullah II. An exclusive from France 24, we strongly stand by Jordan's King Abdullah, says Saudi foreign minister. The Saudi foreign minister. So the Saudis will make it clear where they stand. From France 24 again, Saudi Arabia's foreign... Well, never mind. I didn't say them again. I'm repeating myself. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister told France 24 on Sunday that the kingdom fully supports King Abdullah II of Jordan after the Jordanian authorities claimed they had foiled a malicious plot involving a former crown prince who had liaised with unspecified, quote, foreign parties, unquote. Probably the Russians, probably conspiring with Trump and the Russians on that one. Jordan's Queen Noor calls coup plot allegations wicked slander. That's interesting. Queen Noor, widow of the late King Hussein of Jordan, has insisted allegations of an attempted coup by her son. That's why. She's pretty culturally relevant. Now they're losing the culture war. Well, anyway, let's see what. Let's just see real quick what the Google has to say about what's going on with the Jordan. What's the Google say about the latest? See if we're up to date on the latest with Jordan. It looks like Jordan's Prince Hamza vows to defy house arrest orders from BBC News. That's 1 hour ago as of recording this. Jordan Prince remains defiant in new audio recording. So this thing's ongoing, folks. And we'll get to the next slide you on over here. We've got, wow, this is a good one. They're all good. They're all great because I only pick great stories for you guys. Yeah. Corporate nationalism versus democracy in the war in Georgia over voting rights. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it corporate nationalism. Whatever. I don't know the details of the Georgia voting rights bill. And I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't care for the purpose of what I'm focusing on here. The fact that corporations have decided to so belligerently, aggressively throw in their hat in the political sphere. I mean, any kind of tax exemptions these folks have should be gone. And I mean, this has been kind of going on in America for a long time in softer, less obvious ways. And it's left and the right have had their moments. But this is kind of a wake-up call that says, you know what? We have to get corporations. We have to have a separation of corporation and state, because corporations, these are corporate nationalists. They have allegiance to no country but themselves. They are a country in and of themselves. So, what does the interweb mass media have to say about this? We have from, well, I don't know if you're mainstream media here. I do try to get some esoteric links in here as well. Like, a few esoteric links here. That's good. Craig Campbell, Delta's big corporate assault on America. This is from musttreadalaska.com. Do you want to make a difference? Do you believe him? Okay. There's, you're just going to, okay. So let's see. You're just going to do a little pitch here. Let's see if you got something meaty for me, Craig. Come on, Craig. Let's see. Maybe it's time to take a stand against corporate bigwigs who think their intellectual brilliance provides them the superior moral ground to preach to us about politics. See, that's just it. Now, if I think this guy's pretty conservative, so maybe he's selective in his outrage against corporations that use their power for political ends. But needless to say, whether it's left, right, or what otherwise, I think that we should all come together and say, you know what? We're done. We're done with corporations that use their power their power, because there's very few companies that can match as far as the level of employment that they can offer, the high levels of skilled employment that pays well. Very, 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 very few small companies that can match their power. There's very few companies, very few individuals, very few organizations that can throw around the amount of money that these corporations can. They've got huge slush funds, just millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of million dollars, sometimes billions of dollars that they can throw around to affect culture and society. And these decisions are made by a very small number of billionaires. There's 614 billionaires in America, folks. Let's see. Delta pilot shortage leads to canceled flights. Now, this is somewhat unrelated, but it's still nice to show, because Delta Airlines is thrown in with this and decided that they're going to use their corporate power to bully Americans. And again, it doesn't matter whether you're left or right. It doesn't matter if you're for or against this. If you're poor in America, you shouldn't be for these corporations having this type of power. And I believe that this is really due to they have pilot shortages that are unrelated, but I think they're going to get more than that over the next few weeks and months. Delta Airlines used to be known for its operational excellence, but the Atlanta-based airline now can't seem to consistently run its scheduled operations on holidays. What's going on? Delta canceling dozens of flights over Eastern. Delta so far has canceled 74 flights today, blah, blah, blah. It's because of pilot shortage, just like I said. Christine Flowers. This is from that last story was from onemileatatime.com, and this is from potameric.com. And this is Christine Flowers. Georgia voting law is no return to Jim Crow. And so you see the battle lines being drawn. I think the big story is that corporations, they just have to, we don't want them in politics. Separation of corporation and state is what I say. All right, let's get to our next story here. And this is, just want to make sure, I think. Yeah. Russia, Ukraine not backing down as Western Europe stakes its position. And this is the showdown that's going on in the Ukraine there. You could say, well, Ukraine now. They don't like being called the Ukraine. I grew up hearing the Ukraine, but apparently the is just not good enough for them anymore. They're losing the culture war. All right. EU sounds alarm as Russians troops Ukraine border moves. This is from TheGuardian.com. The European Union has pledged its unwavering support for Ukraine's government, while the EU foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, expressing major worries over Russian troop movements. Following with severe concerns the Russian military activity surrounding Ukraine, Borrell wrote online after a phone call with Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba. And then from AtlanticCouncil.org, is Putin about to launch a new offensive in the Ukraine? From the AtlanticCouncil.org, I said that, a Russian soldier pictured during the 2014 military takeover of Okay, so there's a picture there, but we don't show the picture because we don't show pictures. We're not picture people here. In recent weeks, a major Russian military buildup in occupied Crimea and close to the border with eastern Ukraine has sparked fears of a possible imminent escalation in the 7-year conflict between the two countries. From UKRinform.net, I don't know how that's supposed to be, Ukrinform. Ukraine asks, I guess that's Ukrinform. Is that cute? That's not cute. You're losing the culture war. Ukraine asks United States to strengthen sanctions against Russia. From Ukrinform. Ukraine welcomes the extension of U.S. sanctions against Russia and asks for them to be strengthened. We welcome the existing sanctions, and we constantly and ask not just to extend, but to strengthen sanctions. That is, just check out the map of Ukraine here. See there's Ukraine. See there's Crimea in there. Now they had the Crimea, but now Russia's kind of taken that back. And that's the reason that Ukraine is a problem. Ukraine is a geopolitical hot mess for the Russians. And there's no way that the Russians can allow for Western influence to dominate in Ukraine. They have to fight back. It's what nation states have to do. They cannot allow Western influence, because Western influence absolutely wants to seize the Crimea. There was a war about this, Crimean War. You want to check out the Crimean War, man? Crimean War. Let's see if Let's see what they have to say about the Crimean War here. Oh, yeah, you don't have anything. I guess not in the news. There's nothing in the news about the Crimean War, so whatever. Let's see what you have to say. See the Crimean War? See that 1853, 1856. The Crimean War was a military conflict from 1853 in which Russia lost to an alliance made up of France, the Ottoman Empire, the United Kingdom, and Sardinia. And the Russians haven't forgotten. They are in no mood to allow for Western influence into the Crimea, and that's just that. I'm not siding with anyone, but geopolitically, Russia can't allow it and be a nation state. They just can't. Whew. Well, that was simple. I hope you guys appreciated the simplicity with which I delivered that last remark. And now we're going to get to our next story here, and this is going to be, I believe, our last story. Our last story. We'll do 6 stories here. 6 stories. Easter eggs and mounting death colors on death. Oh, I read that wrong. Mounting death colors. That's nice, actually. See, mounting death colors sounds poetic, but this is anything but. Easter eggs and mounting death colors, ongoing struggle in Myanmar. And we have here from the Thager.com, Thailand unlikely, or Thailand, or I don't know how it's pronounced, Thailand unlikely to join ASEAN in pressuring Myanmar juntas to stop bloodshed. Thailand's government is unlikely to join other members of ASEAN in calling for Myanmar's junta to stop the bloodshed. Fears over receiving a flood of refugees across the Burmese border and damages to its military ties may be of more importance to the kingdom, despite the government's recent claim that it is. It is what? What is it? Let's find out. Don't leave us hanging. You cut us off at the wrong place. Despite the government's recent claims that it's gravely concerned over the situation in Myanmar. There you go. Gravely concerned. All that just for that. So we're ended up doing 2 stories on Myanmar. One was just focused on that one story, and then these are about the overall what's going on in Myanmar. Myanmar protests defy military as internet curbs test resolve. This is from usnews.com. Myanmar protesters defy military. I already read that. Let's see. You're not showing me enough here, so let's go check you out real quick here. So we have Myanmar clapped together in a show of dissent against the military junta on Monday as a regional bloc prepared for talks on the crisis that killed nearly 600. Look at that. They're losing the culture war. You see that? They're losing the culture war. And unfortunately, people are losing more than culture wars over there, because there are, so far, 564 people at least that have been killed so far by so-called security forces in an effort to secure the junta. Myanmar activists launch radio program to promote federalism. Faced with government efforts to completely cut internet access, some Myanmar they're going old school. People should be studying what's going on in Myanmar, because now they're going to be taken to the airways. I myself have an FM transmitter, so I could send out an FM signal if I ever wanted to. Not that I want to. I don't, because I'm a decent American, decent human being. I love everything about this country, and just love it all. Just love it all. There's no sarcasm there. Myanmar activist launches radio program to promote federalism. I already read that. Federal FM radio went live April 1st at 90.2 megahertz. Its targeted broadcasting days are on Thursdays and Sundays. The unlicensed radio station, the pirate radio station, aims to inform audiences about events throughout the country. And we got Myanmar security forces killed 564 people since coup. And then we have Myanmar protests take up Easter eggs. Now this is somewhat interesting. I really am very interested in this. That's why I put it in the title. Easter eggs, a symbol in Myanmar protests. Opponents of military rule in Myanmar have inscribed messages of protest on Easter eggs, while others have returned to the streets, facing off with security forces after a night of candlelit vigils for hundreds killed since the February 1 coup. And the latest in a series of impromptu shows of defiance on Sunday, messages including "We must win" and "Get out, Ma," referring to junta leader Min Aung Hlaing, were seen on eggs. Let's see what Ming, you're the person that is behind this, so let's see. What's your story here, Ming? There you go, Ming. What do you look like? There he is. This is the guy. Wow. Wow, he's losing the culture war. Look at that. Clearly losing the culture war. Wow. All right, and I think that's it. That's how we're going to end this show. That's it. We are in and out, and then we're done. So I thank you. I am Paul Gordon Collier of go to Freedomist.com. That's Freedomist.com, and check out all the latest news links. You can see all the wonderful news links here. You got top stories here, and then you got editors' picks. You got some really cool editors' picks here that we've gone through, and we got some Freedom headlines that we're going through, and top tracker. This is where we got our topics from. We didn't get to border crisis today. Oh, we didn't get to the border crisis. Oh, well. No problem. No problem. You know what? I don't want to let you down. You know what? I tell you what. Bonus coverage. Let's do this. Because I love you guys. You get bonus coverage. On the first ever episode, you get bonus coverage. That's a decent human being. Kamala, a no-show on border crisis job? Where is Kamala? Not at the southern border. Laura Trump reacts. FoxNews.com. Where is Kamala? Fox News contributor Laura Trump reacts to the Biden administration's lack of transparency at the southern border. So she slammed. Boy, she wrecked. She destroyed. She ended Kamala's career with her words. Another one of those. So we got Laura Trump, and so we've got that whole, let's ennoble the family members of whoever was the most recent president, and let's make them all news stars, as we are wont to do, as we continue to blend the corporation, the state, and the media into one amalgamation. This is why you must separate the corporations and the state, because, I mean, Laura Trump is a part of the whole corporate nationalist kind of movement there. I mean, they're all part of it, the folks that come from these billionaire enclaves built by corporations that are now dictating to the rest of us. Well, in Laura's case, she's losing the culture war. We all know that she's losing the culture war because the culture war is commanded by others. Bus carrying unaccompanied, but she's trying to get in. The Trumps are trying to get in, but they're not trying to get in for you and me. They're just trying to get in. Bus carrying unaccompanied migrant girls arrived at Houston shelter from KXXB.com. Newspaper downplays border crisis. Voting system improve. I don't care about that. The newspaper downplays voter crisis is what I cared about. And I love this. This is, listen, I'm an equal opportunity make fun of her. And this is absolutely, I love this title. It's so unbelievably wild, and it's awesome. We have Donald Trump to thank for crisis at the border. I mean, I couldn't disagree with this person all the more, but what chutzpah on that one. Nah, it's Donnie's fault. You know, Joe Biden is the one that made the policies, and then all this stuff started to happen, but it's Donnie's fault. I guess the fault of Donnie's is he didn't let them in the first place. I'm not going to read the letter. I don't want to throw things at my TV screen and break them today. Not my computer monitor. How about that? Rep. Ronnie Jackson visits U.S.-Mexico border amid migrant crisis from KLTV.com. Great. Lawmakers say fixing border crisis is Biden's job. Well, he is the president right now. So that would kind of make sense. And this is from TheHill.com. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill say Congress has little role to play in fixing the border crisis, arguing the responsibility falls largely on President Joe Biden. They're like, yep, not doing anything. Chad Wolf faults lack of enforcement accountability amid migrant surge. Let's see what old Chad Wolf says. This is WBAP.com. There's old Chad. There's Chad's. I don't even know who you are. Former acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf on Sunday lambasted the lack of enforcement and accountability at the southern border as a massive surge of migrants continues. In an interview on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures, Wolf blamed Fox News is like the token right. They're not really right, but they're the token right. In an interview on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, Wolf blamed the new Biden administration for policies that have tied the hands of Customs and Border Protection officials. Son, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Now, what does, let's see. What does the old Google News, which is, Google News is winning the culture war. I'm not sure that you want them to win, but they are winning the culture war. And what does the culture war winners say? Inside the border crisis, Republicans bet border crisis headlines will undermine Biden immigration plan. 4 things the Biden administration should pay attention to with the border crisis, Brookings Institute. That last one was Newsweek. Look at everything on the top here is all left, left, left. I don't care what you say, the Hill is left too. I mean, they're token rightists that they have on that little panel of theirs. That I can't remember the name of those folks. I don't follow them, but yeah, not really. Lawmakers say fixing border crisis is Biden's job. The real border crisis from The Atlantic, and Biden dispatches top officials to Mexico, Central America as border crisis grows. And yeah, there you go. All right, now I could say now we have done a show. Now we have done a show, ladies and gentlemen, and the show is over. I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Daily Freedomist Show. I will try to do this show tomorrow about the same time. I'm going to try to do it at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think